Joshua and I are getting a divorce.
Guys, this is really sad, and I want to just talk a little bit about it with you. One of the things when it comes to this topic, a lot of you guys may not know that I'm a trained certified life coach in relationships and depression on the side. Professionally, I'm a full-time comic book artist and writer and screenplay artist and writer and director for BeyondComics.tv. But just to get serious for a moment, when it comes to this kind of situation, if you guys are going through divorce, and I hope that you guys are watching this right now as well, you probably know her best as Miranda Sings, the character she portrays. Has over 6 million followers on YouTube. But she and Josh are going through a very hard time where they both say they have not cheated. They both discuss the fact that they just feel they're incompatible. He regrets the way that they spoke and communicated with each other. And this is very important because one of the things is that he said he wants to work it out with her and does not want to get divorced. She said that they both love each other, but she doesn't feel that they're going in the right direction. They have different directions they want, and as painful as it is, she feels it's best to get divorced. One of the things is that it's important to remember that life is a series of moments strung together. And there are people who come in your life because they are right for that time. And it's important for you to learn as much from them about yourself and do whatever you can to better yourself as possible in each relationship you're in. And when that relationship has its expiration date come, that's the time when a lot of people stay too long. The relationship has expired already. And if it gets to a point where you become more unhappy with the person than you are alone, that's usually the time to let the relationship go peacefully, respectfully, and nicely if you can. On the other end of the spectrum, if you can try to work through your problems and learn what you needed to learn about yourself and them, and if you both can compromise and come together to find a happy medium, that would be ideal. That would be spectacular, because then you could quantify the actions of your past behavior and try to work it out together. And keep in mind that every time you start over, you're always going to have that moment of bliss and the honeymoon phase, as they say, until you get to that point where you both get bored out of each other's mind because you know everything there is to know about each other that's interesting. And at that point, if you both can be happy being bored together, then you got something. Then you got something to stick with. All relationships, most all of them, eventually get to a point where you lose the honeymoon phase. You get used to each other. And that's when you have to be extra careful that you don't fall into what I call the roommate syndrome, where suddenly you're living with somebody who's no longer like your boyfriend or girlfriend or partner or whatever. They're like your roommate. And it's important to try to still, I know you guys are going to laugh here, but it's important to try to still wash, dress nicely for each other, and yourselves. Try not to be irritable. If you feel irritable, tell the person, hey man, I feel irritable. I need some space. Make sure to have your own space separate than that other person. Remember the most important thing I want to tell you guys in relationships. Remember that your whole life you've had an imaginary image in your mind what the perfect person is. And when you meet somebody new, you do everything in your power to project that wonderful image onto that person. And eventually real life hits and you learn who they actually are, which is never going to match or meet up to your expectations in here. So you have to remember that this fantasy of how you want your partner to be and why aren't they doing this and I want them to do this and they're not doing this is because they are not your fantasy and they never will be. They're a real separate person who was raised completely separate than you. So please remember that and do your best to love and appreciate what they can offer for you and what you can offer for them, and stay there. Now, I'm not saying you should allow mistreatment. If someone is mistreating you, you stop them and you inform them of how you are to be treated. And if they do not respect that, then you walk away. And that's the end of it. Period. Done. And it's going to be hard and hurtful, and you're going to have memories and sadness and loss, and that is part of life. Every relationship that I've ever heard of has some form of loss and sadness and depression wrapped into it as part of life. So please do yourself a favor and try to learn as much as you can from it. And also, and this is the tough one, if you are wronged, if you're cheated on, if you're lied to, do everything in your power to be so independently confident and believe in yourself and what you have to offer to somebody that you can actually forgive that person and look at them as a little child, someone who's not at the level that they need to be to understand what they did was wrong. And if they do, you can consider forgiving them. But if they don't, and it's just not going to work out, don't harbor revenge and I have to show them and I have to get them, and, try to let that all go if you can. If you watch the video here behind me, you'll see that they both say, please respect each other. They respect each other, and they're asking their fans not to fight against them or have any cyberbullying or anything like that. They're parting amicably and peacefully, which is the right way to do it. It's a painful process, but a lot of times people, when they're no longer interested in being in a relationship, sometimes they cut the other person off. I'll never talk to them again. It's done, and they block them out, or they even get really vicious and they start putting them down and insulting them or making fun of them or whatever. Don't do that, man. Don't go out like that. Be better than that. Be better than that as a human being, and as a human being that's a part of this species and race. Let's set examples and be better than our emotions. Emotions are uncontrolled children. So when you're a child and you say, hey, I'm angry, and you punch, or you say, hey, I want that, and you grab, that's because a child does not have this developed yet to control those emotions and that anger. So do everything in your power to utilize your adult mind to control and harness your emotional child, which is hurt, angry, sad, wants to exact revenge, a whole numerous amount of things. I'm not saying to deny your feelings or your emotions, but I'm saying to release them in a safe form. If you want to punch and attack somebody because they wronged you, hit the bed. Take a freaking baseball bat and pound your freaking mattress, okay, till your heart's content, and get it out of your system. Try to meditate if you can. Try transcendental meditation is also very good. There's a number of things you can do, and YouTube has a super array of things you can select from. But, I'll start eventually posting some more videos trying to help people with their problems and their issues. And if you guys have any questions, any problems, please post them in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe for updates. And if you have any topics you want me to tackle, let me know, and I'll try to address it and be as helpful as I possibly can. And remember, you're only human, so be kind to yourself. But all you need to be is human, and that's enough to get by. All right, guys, be good to yourself, and to be continued, as they say in comics. This is Greg Wyke from BeyondComics.tv signing off. Peace.